So mortality data, death data, who dies from heart disease. We touched on this a little bit on some of the earlier slides, but generally, people who are younger are going to survive heart disease. Increased death risk increases with age. An interesting piece of data is that 50% of people who died from sudden heart attacks, sudden heart disease, had no prior symptoms. So oftentimes sudden death is the first indication that they have any underlying heart disease. But there are better advances in medical care, as we mentioned. So we have, CPR with the defibrillator. So if you can get early defibrillators, then people are more likely to survive. Preventive medications, as we mentioned, high blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, and better techniques, management in hospital, surgeries. Smoking rates have gone down, although they still have leveled off at about 20% of the population. And it's actually a little bit higher in, the 18 to 25 age group. So, and some data indicate that those numbers may even be going higher in college age students. But we have obesity increasing and we have type 2 diabetes increasing. And diabetes really increases your risk of heart disease. As we mentioned, the high blood sugar is one of the things that causes injury to the endothelium. So you have to take that into account. We've done some good things, but we really have to be careful with obesity and diabetes increasing. So the common treatments, we mentioned how people are surviving heart disease. What are they doing here? They're doing the angioplasty or PTCA, percutaneous transluminal coronary angioplasty. So that's where they go in, and there are some animations on the American Heart site, and I will put those on Blackboard. The blocked artery is opened up, so they go in through the femoral artery. They use a guide wire. They thread all the way up to the heart. They've got imaging going on. And they go in with like a little roto-rooter, like a plumber would with the drain. So they can actually shave off that artery. They can block it. And then they can sort of mash it down. And then they use this mesh stent to keep it opened. And so if a person has a blockage and it's not that bad and it's in one or maybe two arteries, oftentimes they will have an angioplasty, but they can develop new blockages. Sometimes these stents collapse, so oftentimes they have to be redone. So it's not a permanent solution, and if someone just has the genetics where they just really develop atherosclerosis, then they may have to go back multiple times. President Clinton has had to have multiple angioplasties. Coronary bypass surgery, also known as a CABG, C-A-B-G. So they take your saphenous vein in your leg and they make just like a bypass, like a highway bypass. So when they've got multiple arteries blocked or in severe disease, for example, when you hear someone says they had triple bypass or quadruple bypass, that means they had 4 different places in their heart where they had these little bypasses made. And so the heart will develop new circulation in those areas. So it is a great way to supply the heart, with better circulation. But once again, those sometimes need to be redone. So it is not a permanent solution. Lifestyle plans, the Dean Ornish plan. We'll talk about this in class. Now, Dr. Dean Ornish is, somewhat controversial, but he has a program that it's used by hospitals and cardiac programs to get people to get on a very low-fat vegetarian diet with exercise and stress management. And he's been able to show that he can reverse heart disease and reverse atherosclerosis with his lifestyle plan. What's always been a criticism is that, people won't do it. But they've got plenty of data where people have adopted the Ornish plan and done quite well. But yes, it's kind of odd that the lifestyle plan is sort of the alternative plan, and going in with any type of surgery seems to be the default. But and that getting people to change their lifestyle is alternative. But but still, people are going to have to change their lifestyle if they've got heart disease.